What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we just got done with a very unusual Sony conference. Um, and also unusual. It had good content. Like the stuff they showed was fantastic. It really was. Mind you, though, not much of it is coming this year or potentially next year. Um, but the way they did the conference was weird for like the first quarter or half of it. Um, so the first half of the conference, the crowd and everything was in this like very small kind of tent church thing. And then we found out that was to do with The Last of Us 2, which they showed first. Then we had like a 10-15 minute wait, maybe more. Uh wait while the crowd was moved from one venue to another to show off the rest of the show. And while they did that, they just had guys out. These couple guys out on a desk, just talking about like, oh hey, like what else is coming out from PS4 and all the rest of it. It was like the after press conference stuff, but it was in the middle of the press conference, right after the first thing they show you, and it looked like a lot of Sony going, we have this set amount of time slot, but we don't have enough content to fill it. So let's string it out with some musical things, which honestly, like, were interesting, but were nowhere near like the orchestra and stuff that they had at a couple of the other ones. Like, it was nothing. Um, and then let's have this intermission to really, really stretch it out, and then they went from there. But, mm. um, the thing I will say about Sony's one is, yes, the games that they showed were fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to a lot of them. But they showed very little ones with release dates and things like that, which worry me a little bit. I think some are 2019. I think some potentially could be further on than that. Um, but there were maybe, I don't know. I think there was maybe one, maybe two surprises. There wasn't much. There wasn't much. This was not the best Sony conference that they've had in in the past few years. It was not the best. It really wasn't. But first up, like I said, they showed Last of Us 2. Quite a violent Last of Us 2. Naughty Dog have definitely stepped up this story. They definitely have, broadening it out. They're definitely looking into Ellie, now that she's grown up, she's, sort of finding herself, and she's having a dance with her friend and stuff, and they end up kissing and all the rest of it. So it's good to see the story broadening out like that. It's really cool. And, sort of showing Ellie growing up. But then it was sort of like you had the kiss and then a very brutal, a very, very brutal, very violent in a way, gameplay section, which sort of showed off a section of Ali sort of going up against these sort of, I don't know if they were religious or what, but they were some crazy people. They were killing people. There was a guy that got his guts sort of torn open, and you see his intestines come out. It wasn't close up. It was just from a distance, but it was like, damn, man. Like, do we have to see that? Um, but all I can say is like the way Ellie was moving around the level, the way she interacted with the enemies when they found her, when they were fighting her, she was dodging things. When she took hits, she reacted to it. If this will be in the game, this is a massive step. It truly felt like a next gen game. It really, really did. It was, she was reacting to pain things when she got shot, or, in a way that's more than just like, oh, it was like she was holding that spot. When she got shot with an arrow, she, sort of pulled it out, while moving and things like that. Some arrows went flying up in the air and they all fell individually and they all looked really smooth. The like knives and stuff got caught in people when they hit. There was like someone got exploded and there's just this, they just sort of get vaporized. Like, it's like this puff of sort of red mist comes out with these chunks going everywhere. It was a brutal, like, you could feel the brutality of the scene and of the gameplay that you think, and it looked really, really good. It looked really, really good. Now, will that translate into the game itself? We're not sure. Like, you could have these moments that are quite isolated, but as the game spreads out, can it carry you through the entire game? I gotta have faith in them, though. I gotta have faith in them because, like, when has Naughty Dog really let us down? It hasn't really done that. You look at the first one. I mean, come on, come on. So, I got all the faith in the world in this game. It looks fantastic. If I could have it now, I'd have it now. Um, but we got no release date. We got nothing. It was great to see gameplay. It was great to see things, but no release date, no nothing. So, and one thing too is no Joel. No Joel. You didn't see him at all there, so we'll have a look. We'll see what happens. Then after the very lengthy sort of move where they announced like God of War was getting a new game plus. I think they showed off like the new Destiny trailer for the I think it's like Forsaken or something. I'm not sure. Then they went into Ghost of Tsushima. Now this is from the guys that made Infamous Second Son. I liked Infamous. I actually thought it was quite good. This game looks awesome. It looks awesome. It's like that the sort of your fantasy of a samurai thing. Badass. You got the big rimmed hat, and like they have these moments where like you see enemies and you just sort of like grab your sword and you wait and he charges at you. You just slice with one shot and then you put it back in. Like it had all of that like samurai fantasy stuff that we all like have. It was awesome, and the game looked amazing. It looked so good. There were like certain scenes, like there's a fight scene at the end of the trailer, and if you have not seen the trailer, go watch it. The scene there with the red leaves circling around and the fire suddenly sort of builds up. Oh, it looked awesome. It looked awesome. It looked like a sort of like Witcher 3 but with samurai. Like that's what it felt like. That's what it looked like. Now I don't think it's gonna probably be as lengthy and as big and as deep as that. But just knowing Sony games, I think it's gonna be on the sort of level of God of War, sort of vastness, sort of size. But God, that game looked good. I'm super excited for that one. But again, like no release date, no nothing. So hopefully later on the year, like especially at their Sony experience, like they have that like PlayStation experience sort of convention that they have. They'll probably do a lot of release dates then. But damn, that thing looked good. It was worth the wait of that damn intermission in the middle. It really was. It was great. It looked fantastic. Then we got an interesting one called Control. And this is from the guys that made Quantum Break. Now, they made Quantum Break for the Xbox and for Microsoft. Now they've come to Sony and they're making this Control one. And it looked like it's about this lady in this. You're in this place where it looks like a whole bunch of weird experiments that have been happening. And you have like telekinesis powers, and you're like throwing stuff at people. She had this really weird gun, which I think focuses her telekinesis into like bullets and stuff. And like weird shit was happening. There was weird, sort of power people and stuff. It looked really, really cool. It looked really cool. Mind you, though, when Quantum Break got shown, that looked really cool too, and that didn't really work out the way it was meant to. But Control looks interesting. It's definitely one you should keep an eye on. It's definitely one, like, if you have not seen the trailer, go have a look at it. Have a look and see what it's about. But, anything like with telekinesis powers and you have those abilities and you throw things at people and you're flying around and, you're doing all this stuff. It was almost like you're running around like Jean Grey. And, you're in this facility thing. So, and like the walls were changing and stuff. I don't know. It looked very interesting and I liked it. It's going to be something that I keep an eye on. Something that I will not be playing. There's a Resident Evil 2 remake coming out very soon. Like this is one of the only ones that got a release date. January 25th. So if you were really into Resident Evil 2, there's a remake coming out. No. I don't play those games. I don't play scary games. It's just not for me. I hate it. and I will not play it. I won't play it ever. It won't happen. I'm sorry. But I mean, if for those, a lot of people got really excited about that one. Like people like love Resident Evil, especially the early ones. So the fact that they're getting remakes, that's cool. And to be so soon too, like January 25th is not too far away. So that's interesting. Trover Saves the Universe. Now this is like from a co-creator of Rick and Morty, and this one didn't go down, I think, the way they were hoping. It was a lot of very forced comedy. There's like this like bathtub dude guy, and he's like playing the game, and he's like, "Hey, this looks interesting. Hey, this like look at this, look at these graphics, look at this jumping puzzles." And then he like the TV falls in the bathtub and it kills him, and then like one of the main voices from Rick and Morty comes out, it's like, "Oh, help, help, help." I don't know about that one. It looked weird, and the trailer put me off massively. It put me off massively, which was, yeah. So I didn't get a release date on that one. I don't know. I guess if you're Rick and Morty and stuff, it might be for you. I mean, I've watched it. I like it, but I'm not really into it like a lot of people are. We'll see. Kingdom Hearts 3. They were at another conference. They were all over freaking E3. These ones. I think it got to the point where you're like, okay, Kingdom Hearts, we get it. You're here. Just make sure you come out on the date that you said you're coming out on. That's pretty much it. It's like, we don't need to see any more trailers. Just make sure you're out. Like, because the more and more you're showing it, more and more it gets weird and confusing. But they did show off the Pirates of the Caribbean world, which is interesting. Like, it's kind of weird to see, the pirate stuff with, like, Goofy and all that. But I know they've done this before. So, that was interesting. But I mean, we're seeing Kingdom Hearts like through all this E3. I'm not too concerned about it. Then we got the thing that we've probably been wanting out of this entire, like, apart from Last of Us 2, this was like one of the things that we really wanted to see, and this was one of like the 4 core games that they were going on about. Death Stranding. And we just want to know what the hell this game is. And after this trailer, we still don't really know what the hell this game is. We don't. And Kojima did do an interview on that stuff, and I haven't seen that yet, so, I don't know all the facts. I don't know if he said some stuff about it. But honestly, it looked like you were just a delivery guy. Like, that's pretty much his job, right? That's Norman Reedus' character's job, is to put stuff on his back, walk through these environments, and take things to people. Because I think he has the ability to sense these things, these like invisible alien demon things that are around, and we actually got to see the shape of them this time. And apparently, like, if they touch him, he doesn't die. He just explodes and then comes back again. But they didn't really explain that. And then, like, they kind of showed off the baby thing. Like, the first thing you saw of this trailer was, like, in the throat of someone and a freaking baby butt. And then it turns around and it's the same thing of last year where it sort of goes like, pop. Like, this sort of like, does that whole thing. And, like, they sort of showed how the baby seems to be able to detect where they are. Like, they sort of hook this thing up to those sort of light things, like that sort of like moving arm thing that they had in, like, the last trailer we saw. And it was like, moving around, and like it could detect where they were. They were showing the actual like weird ghost things that were there, and they kind of had umbilical cords too and stuff. The gameplay side that it showed did not look interesting at all. It was a lot of walking around with big backpacks and stuff. And it's like you were move one set of stuff to another area. Move this. It was like almost like you're a freaking, delivery man. That was your job. I still don't know about this game. I still don't know. Like, I think it's going to be crazy as hell. The story's going to be crazy as hell. But until we actually see gameplay that is not just you walking around with a whole bunch of packages on your back. We still don't know what the hell it is. It was still a weird trailer. It was still a weird trailer. Like, there was a lady at the end where she ate like this weird like thing that looked like a finger, but it could be like someone said like, or maybe there's like a little baby thing, and that's how the baby gets in your stomach or something. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird, and I don't know. So, and that's just the definition of Death Stranding right now. That's really what it is. It's weird, and I don't know. So we'll see. Still no release date on that one. Yeah. I mean, I just hope that I'm not just a delivery guy. That's my worry on that one. It's like, apparently though, like there is gonna be like some gunplay stuff. There is actually gonna be some fighting things. Yeah, I'm not sure. Then a bit of surprise actually from the conference. Neo 2. Neo 2, yeah. They basically had a teaser just saying, hey, we're making one. No release date, no nothing. It's probably going to be a year or two away, but yeah, new Neo 2. So if you love that game, it was really good. It is fantastic. We got another one coming. So sweet. I was happy about that. It was like a weird demon thing. Which looked kind of cool. So yeah, no, it looked sweet. Then Spider-Man, and they went kind of big into Spider-Man this time. They did a big mission where they're showing a lot of the fighting, a lot of the web swinging and stuff. And then at the end of the conference too, they did a big gameplay session of it as well, which is sweet. It showed off Electrode, Rhino, Mr. Negative, Scorpion, Vulture, and then apparently someone else showed up too right then. And he's like, "You," and then that was it. It was like he was getting his ass kicked. So it's either someone saving him or the person sort of running this group of bad guys. So yeah, it was sort of like, sort of going a mission when they were going through the raft and stuff, and the web swinging looks really cool. Looks really quick as well. Like you're moving fast, but the web swing feels looks really good. The fighting, like it's very Arkham style, but I think the web stuff, it sort of adds to the creativity on that one. Looks really cool. And then like I said, at the end of the conference, they actually showed some gameplay stuff, and they showed the sort of openness of it all, where you can just swing through New York. You can just swing through New York, which is what we wanted. And you can sort of go around and find, like, I think there's like a whole bunch of collectibles and stuff, side quests, saving people. Just being Spider-Man. It's being Spider-Man. So I'm super hyped for Spider-Man. That looked really cool. I want it. It's coming out September 7th. So hopefully there's not too much coming out around that time. A lot of stuff's in October. So September could be a good time. So I'm happy about that. Spider-Man looked really good. But I mean, like, overall, Sony, like, it was clear they didn't have much. That was the thing. It was clear they didn't have much. And they came out and said, like, right at the start, like, look, don't come expecting crazy, like, unbelievable, like, sort of announcements. We got 4 core games, and then we'll have some stuff around it. It wasn't that. Like, the quality of what they showed was really good. The one thing I will say is Days Gone. Days Gone, that other game that they kind of really pushed for like the past 2 years, the zombie game. They showed like a 30-second trailer and was out. Gone. It was like a filler thing. It was nothing. It almost feels like they've given up on that game. Almost feels like it has. Like, this game, I think it got delayed, and now it's coming out on February 22nd with Anthem, with Metro Exodus. This one may not go down so well. And like, for them not to do anything for it. Anything. Like this, after Spider-Man, this is going to be their next big release. I was shocked that they didn't do anything for Days Gone. Like, I was shocked about it. Like, especially like when all we've been hearing is stuff of them like pushing it back all the time. Like nothing to alleviate that like concern about it. So yeah, that was the thing. That was a little bit of a thing. It was something like just small, but I was like, wow, you're doing nothing for them. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, like they didn't have that like shock thing. Like I think Sony's kind of known themselves for, and they've always been that heavy hitter at the end, and you could always depend on them having a really good show. And they had these weird little like dream things. Like I think it was to do another game that they showed at the end of the actual conference, but it was like little weird little like transition things. They had that weird intermission right at the start because they had the Last of Us stuff and a thing that looked like the canopy of where this dance was in the first for the trailer for Last of Us. But they took so long in getting them from that venue to this venue. And then they filled it. The intermission itself was almost like an after conference thing, which just didn't flow well with the actual conference. They had long, kind of almost boring music acts, which I mean it suited what they were showing, but it wasn't like on the sort of scale of the massive orchestra thing which they had for God of War. Like that's one that will stick with me. Like that amazing soundtrack with the an orchestra playing it live was like awesome. It was so cool. This was not. This was not. They had the quality of what they were showing, but the quality of the actual conference was blah. It was bad. It was bad. Microsoft was better. Microsoft was better. They had quantity, not the quality, but they had quantity. Their best things were not their own things. Xbox showed a lot of the other stuff. Like they showed a lot of stuff that's not theirs. That's going to be cross-platform. Sony, their stuff is far better. They have a lot of great stuff coming. But it was clear that they don't have anything. Like they had very limited to show, and they wanted to stretch it out and make it seem bigger than it was. So yeah, it wasn't on Sony's, the quality that Sony has set. They had set that bar and they did not reach it this year, which is a shame. But the trailers, the stuff they showed, spot on. It was really really cool, and I'm excited for a lot of them. Like basically those main four that they promised, like I'm super excited, especially Ghosts, especially Last of Us 2, especially Spider-Man. Death Stranding, I need to see more. It's still like weird as hell. But there were a couple of surprises in there too, which I'm excited for as well. But yeah. Alright guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. We're almost at the end of E3, at least the press conference stuff. I mean, this E3 goes for ages. It's not even actually open. I think it's actually starts tomorrow. But we'll keep up with it throughout the week, especially with news and stuff. Like they generally release stuff that they didn't want to put in the conference as they go through the week too, like different games that we like. Why wasn't that there? Like these little hidden gems of E3. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for those. I'm going through the day's games today, and we're going to pick out the ones that I'm really interested in. I've already done Babylon's Fall, which is the new Platinum game. So if you guys are really interested in those Platinum games, I kind of delved into the trailer a little bit, broke down that sort of story stuff we saw at the start, and trying to figure out what exactly this thing is. We do have Nintendo tomorrow. Most of the time, Nintendo just says either Mario or Metroid or Pokemon, and they win E3. So it's Nintendo. But the funny thing is with this E3 is it's shocking to see how much Nintendo's sort of treehouse format has affected the other conferences. A lot of the ones, especially the smaller ones like EA, Square Enix and stuff, they have gone the way of what Nintendo does. Obviously Microsoft and Ubi and all that, and they stick with more the traditional route. I don't know which one I like the more. I think it's just more like the quality of what you're showing. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff from Nintendo tomorrow. Check out the channel, check out the stuff from all the stuff we'll be doing this week. Just It's been a long couple of days, especially making all these videos and stuff, but I love it. It's what I do, so it's awesome. But yeah, if you like, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. We are a small channel, just sort of starting to grow, so yeah. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace. Bye.